Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your SPDR-ETF stock market update. And this update is for Wednesday, the 27th of September, 2023. And my time right now, about 4:45 p.m. Normally, I'm a little later than this. Tonight's a big night. You're going to be getting, obviously, the presidential debate. President Trump, in the meantime, is in Detroit doing whatever President Trump does. We have no deal on the budget. And it's interesting. It's going to take a turn in its own terrible way, because it is terrible when a government shuts down, so many people get hurt. But maybe, just maybe, this is a turn where the Republicans, believe it or not, in all their disarray, and they are in terrible shape in the House, maybe they get something done on the border, because nobody listens. I mean, I don't know if you read today what New York is saying. They are handing out flyers at the border and in the city saying, we cannot help you. We cannot help you get a job. We cannot help you eat food. We cannot help you. Don't come here. Now, that's a sanctuary city. Chicago's about a step away from that. All the sanctuary cities. It's wonderful to have a theory that we're a sanctuary city when you got 10 people running around. They go and the press plays it up. They're in the church and the police want them for immigration. It's a whole different thing when you got 15, 20,000 of them coming to your city and they're in the streets, they're in the police stations, there's nowhere for them to go, and they keep coming. And they just keep coming. And if you think that's bad, what do you think Texas is going through? Arizona? Get serious. What do you think's going on over there? So could this be a tipping point in its own terrible way, that something good comes out of something bad, and finally the Biden administration does something on the border, sends money to the cities, figures or starts figuring it out rather than sitting there with your you-know-what up your butt? I don't know what else to say, but I am fed up. I live in Chicago. I see what's going on. It's terrible. When I read the article in New York, I know what they're feeling. And if you live in a big city like we do, you see it firsthand, and it's very, very radical. Forget the people living here. What about these poor immigrants? They want a life. I mean, that's where my heart's crying, okay? It's not that they're here. Somebody's got to help them. That's really what I'm saying. If you're going to let them in, take care of them. If you're not going to let them in, I get it. One of the two. Something's got to be done. All right. That's the good. Now, here's the ugly. You've been in meltdowns in some of these markets. I used that term today as I was watching the metal markets nosedive. And in my morning update, I said, you watch. In the second part of the day, they'll take it further. And basically, that's what the market was doing. Why? Because there's nothing there to stop it at this point. Interest rates are high. The situation's dire with the budget. Where are we? What's going to make the markets come up right here? I don't see an awful lot. You have the UAW strike today. They're saying they're going to expand the strike to even more people going out of work because they're not getting any serious, and this is the word of the union, serious offers from GM, from Stellantis. Okay. There's a point where you can't afford to do what these people want. There's a point where the union says, yes, you can. You gave 40% increase to the heads of the company. You can pay us accordingly. I get both sides of the argument. Two sides that stand apart. If they can't come into a middle point, it just goes on and on. Why not? I mean, you had, 150 days or so for the Screenwriters Guild. This can go on a long time and get very, very painful. And you want to buy on that? That's the dilemma that the stock market's having. The mentality's not there right now for it, and you should understand that. When together we take a look at BND, this is a big problem for this market, all right? Take a look. It's breaking down. I was going to change this chart this week, but once I saw all that's going on, I started saying, I can't imagine this isn't going to just keep tanking. And today alone, it's down another 1/3%. Now, as we take a look at where the swing line is, it's right here. The market is pointing lower. You're under the 18-day average. Today, I spent 2 hours, maybe longer, doing PowerPoints for my new charting course. And I'm probably going to do one, I'm thinking of it, breaking moving averages into its own course the way that I use them, which is probably different than the way a lot of people do. And I think you might find that interesting. So I might even create a sub-course out of that with it. I'm debating about it now. But I spent a lot of time explaining bias, and there'll be crossovers in there. What happens when you hit key numbers from a slow stochastic reading, so on and so forth, and Bollinger Bands. But I'm not going to tie that all into one chapter. I would only do the moving averages because I really think you need to take the full courses to get the idea here. But suffice to say, you're finally under the Bollinger Band. Remember, you don't stay under very long. So the fact that it's under there means it's getting overdone. That's the way to look at it. And that you're probably going to get a bounce. That does not mean this will prove to be a low. It'll just get it back into the black, the Bollinger Band, and keep it there for a little bit. Why? Because only 5% of the time do you trade out of the band. There is no other reason. The band will move down the price. Price will say it doesn't want to stay under it. That's the theory of how this works, and it bounces itself back into it. So look for that. Would I tell clients to go short under this? No. And I was putting out trade recommendations. The past 48 hours, I put out a lot of trade recommendations in spiders and ETFs and stocks, and I think my clients are happy. I hope they are at this point. You have an embedded reading. What rules the day in hierarchy is understanding what happens when momentum locks in. The word embedded just means locks in. It's synonymous with it. And when it locks in until it unlocks, the rallies you get in markets are just, noise. This rules the day. Typically, for me, barring some surprise that comes out overnight, momentum leads price. At any point, you can wake up and have some disaster happen. Doesn't matter what your momentum indicator was doing. There's a new set of events. But not getting something like that, normally momentum will lead the day, and momentum isn't giving up. So yes, you're overdone. Yes, I'm looking for a bounce, but I don't see a trend change coming. In Rivian, you're back to neutral. Now you're up to the 18-day average. As you know, I like long-term this company, Lucid, and Fisker. I think all three look very good. I like Fisker for other reasons. I like that how they outsource the building of their cars. That's number one. Less demand on their money. I like the automobile to begin with. And I believe Henry Fisker has good vision. I don't know if you've ever seen the beautiful cars this man built, but they're amazing. In any case, came down to the Bollinger Band again, oversold market, bounced up to the neutral territory. Even if it clears now this 2342 level, so what? All it would be is a higher high and a lower low. So you're really caught in the sideways action right here. In UGA, the gasoline fund, okay, market's getting a little bit of a bounce, but the trend is down. Because you're oversold, I don't know you're attracting a lot of people, but normally when you come down like that and you bounce, the line in the sand, it's called the 18-day average of closes, acts as a resistance point. When we look at XLF, continuing to fall, but now you've got 1, 2, 3, is it 4 days? I think it is 4 days in a row under the Bollinger Band. And normally when you're 4 days in a row, you don't get a fifth. So I'd be a little bit cautious on this right now. I want to see if I can get that to come back for us in any way. Yeah, I can. And this is what I was looking to do. Was this day with the close at 33.74, if I look at it, it was over. I take this back. It was over the Bollinger Band. So you don't have 4 days in a row. You got 2. It can go further. XLI fell to the Bollinger Band coming up. Now look for the resistance at the 200-day average. You had a bearish crossover. Do you see that? Where the 18 got underneath the green line, the 100. The market now could easily come back into these levels. I see nothing bullish on these charts. It will take an event that I don't know what's there. Maybe it is the settling of out of left field, the budget in some manner to surprise. But do I think that's going to happen? No. I think that the Republican story has shifted, that they're better off, honestly, having a shutdown to get their border story and mask the fact that they're dysfunctional as a party in the House of Representatives And maybe what saves them is the world in the United States especially says, yeah, they finally got something done on the border. They're standing up for it. Because I think the American people want some border control or help for the people coming over. Talk to the people in Texas, talk to them in Chicago, talk New York, talk San Francisco, wherever the immigrants are coming. Just let them work, let them have a life, but get them something. If you're going to let them in, take care of them. If you're not going to let them in, stop letting them in. Which one of the two? When we get over to RSP, you're just nosediving with the market with an embedded reading. Until it bounces, what can I tell you? This has turned into a very bearish situation. Why am I saying that to you right now? Today you had a bearish crossover where the 18-day average is now under the 200. To make this a classic bear market, now you need the 100-day to get under the 200. That can't happen right away. Those two averages move like, oh, I'm tired. It takes a long time to move me. The 18 moves much, much quicker. Then we get to the home builders. Did you look at the mortgage numbers today? That's a problem for everybody. As we know, the home builders are the ones with the supply of homes. The supply increased about 5 months if you saw yesterday's data. The problem is you got a 7.41% conventional 30-year mortgage, so they have to get creative and do things. But what's happened is there's a psychology when all this high interest rate, and every day we're reading in the paper, rates are going higher, rates are going higher. That turns people off. You scare them. And they go, I'm going to hold on to the dollars I have right now. I don't know what's going on right here. That's what I think people say to themselves, and it's why you're sort of drifting. So be careful here. There's nothing bullish on this chart. If the 18 gets under the 100, you can get another wave to the downside before it's all done. Energy's off to the races. I have no reason why today the market woke up and just decided, let's go energy. I don't know if you saw when it went on in heating oil. It was up 10 cents. That's a huge move. That isn't a little move. That's a monster. I don't know why it was down as much as it was the past few days, because winter's around the corner. Maybe it was catch up. But if you looked at the crude itself, it was up $3 a barrel. This stuff is on fire. And that's going to weigh on you. That's a tax on all of us. Gasoline, heating bills coming. All of this is coming home to roost. None of this is bullish, the U.S. economy at this point in time. Yeah, you can get bounces down the road, but that's about it. Let's see if I can get any more of these charts to come up right now. I think I'm having a problem here. There we go. TLT shares. All right. Let's see if one of the others filled in. Yeah, let me go back here and help you with this. I don't know why they didn't fill in, but I won't play the ones that don't. Here's the energy sector. Lower low, higher high. Caught in the sideways action, but as I said, strong. That's where we were. GLD just doesn't want to come in, but we have SLV. Higher high, lower low. You go to a Bollinger Band, and that is normally where the market tries to bounce from. Doesn't mean it's going to change trend, but the way I teach charting, and it doesn't mean I'm right, obviously, but the way I believe I'm right, the first challenge of that, you get a market that's not embedded, smart money covers some short positions, if not all of them. In the copper, you're just now leaning on this Bollinger Band, and as you do so, the question is, will it get it to embed? Are you looking at what's going on in China? If you're looking at their property market, the implosion now of the big company Evergrande is taking place. And as that takes place, you got to be careful of a domino effect, all right? This month coming up, I told you, Hong Kong's court's going to decide on a liquidation phase for this company. In the meantime, they've taken the chairman and put him into what they call detained status, which means he can't leave his house. He can't even use his internet, his phone to reach out to people that the state doesn't approve. He ain't going anywhere. They've got his passport and his other IDs. They're getting ready to put him away if they find that they don't like what it is. They need a scapegoat. And there he is. Remember, this was a company worth $22 billion just a few years ago. TLT, look at how the market is just collapsing on itself. That's like the BND part of it. On UUP, the dollar index, now you're over the upper band. I don't care. I don't care that all the news, how strong the dollar is. When you're over that, you're begging for a correction to set in, not a trend change. To me, this will tell you when the trend is changing. When the red line closes under 79, I'll have a different attitude. Until then, on pullbacks, I contend this market's a buy, and it might be setting one of those up right now. In FXE, under the lower band, they're mirror images. Remember, the dollar index is comprised 40% of the euro currency. So if it's going up, the euro's going down. They go the opposite of each other. You're under the band. You're embedded. I think the pros are going to take some money off the table. In the dollar and this, because you're embedded, the way I teach it, the pros would cut positions down, not give up their core position. So you put it together, you come up with game plans. See, this didn't fill in there. It's barely doing it. Not sure what it is. Could be an internet issue. You know, each morning at 9 o'clock, 10 to 9, I begin recording my SPDR ETF. Let me tell you why I wait until 20 minutes or so when the stock market opens. I want the morning data, which are the reports, to come in. A lot of them end at 9 in the morning Central Time. I want the money, and this is important, the money that's traded outside of standard trading hours to have a chance to balance itself with the now when the market opens. That's very important. You can trade off hours, you know that. And away you go. I cover so much more than this, but this just gives you an idea of what I do. I cover a group of spiders, then the other markets. I'm not even covering jets right now. I move them around all the time, every week. Stock indices, the mainstay, are always there. The metals are always there. Interest rates I'll cover. Energies, currencies, and of course I'm rotating those stocks all the time. So if you'd like to join and see what I'm doing, the ideas behind it, it's simple to do. And I mean super simple. If you're watching me here on YouTube, you know, there's a blue button. You can just click that to join. You can go to our website, IraEpstein.com. The bonus videos, and I'm waiting. I want to put out a bonus video, but I don't want to look stupid here. I want to get something where I can tie it into what's going on with the budget right now. So I will cover for you weekly charts, daily charts, the fundamentals as they're coming out, and what they mean, my interpretation, and away you go. How do you get this? Go to our website. You can click up here. It'll take you to free offers. Sign up for a free trial. If you want to just go in and buy it, go to our website and under the word research, it's right there. Either way, give it a try. What do you have to lose but seeing what somebody else is doing? And what if, just what if, you actually see, oh, I do like what he's doing. Maybe that will help me in some manner, or I just want to see, boy, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'll go the other way. I hope that's not the story. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.